What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today I have 3 separate teams taking on PKA level 100 and above. I haven't actually reached level 150 yet, but these are teams that I have come across and gone ahead and built for you guys for a team today. 2 of the teams that I have built, one of them is going to have the full batch, the other one is going to be this team that you're seeing right here, utilizing V2 Katakuri. And we're actually abusing the other super type condition or super class condition of Blackbeard, where we have 5 characters on our crew that have the enraged or the provoked attack potential ability. Now, I did find out that it actually doesn't include Blackbeard himself. It has to be basically, if you have Blackbeard as your captain, all 5 other characters have to have the provoked attack potential ability. Very difficult to build for a team such as that. We don't even have one of each of fighter, slasher, shooter, or striker on our crew to get the 5.75 times attack boost from Blackbeard's captain effect. So this is a little bit of a wonky team, but the damage that it does do is pretty good. We're going to be using Magma Kaido as a sub. The only reason why we're doing that is because Kaido has a special that is a multi-turn orb boost. That's basically the only reason why we do it. So it's just a really strong character. It just does a lot of damage, and of course we get access to his Rush Sugo special. One thing about this team though is that it does use the upgraded Grand Tesoro ship. As you do see on that stage, we're inflicted with 1 turn of attack down. Instead of having a support or a special to get rid of that, the ship does get rid of that for us. And the ship is just really good in general. I've been waiting to do it for quite a while, and I have a lot of excess super cola right now, so I decided to bite the bullet, and I went for it, and I'm pretty happy that I've done it because it is a very powerful ship. And then of course we have some key supports on our crew to get rid of some of these really annoying gimmicks like Bind and Despair and Special Bind. Really good one there on Hody Jones to remove additional turns of Special Bind for the whole crew. And by using Katakuri here, we can get a big attack boost for the next stage that lasts for multiple turns. So it's really, really strong. Page 1, this is I think the first piece of content I've ever used page 1 on to remove the defense up, and he also gives us an orb boost. And the thing about it is that page 1 has the support of Ulti, which removes 2 turns of Despair for us, which is really good for that stage. And then on the final stage, we have the effect of Blackbeard Superclass to remove the defense up. We have Jack to remove attack down and give us color affinity, and Kaido for his orb boosting effect. And of course, with Kaido as his captain, as a Blackbeard as his captain, we can bypass those really annoying defensive effects. So a really solid team actually, but there are a couple of key supports that make the team work. Moving on to our next team is going to be using Ulti as our leader. So shout out to Shiren, a Japanese player on Twitter, who is the original creator of this team. And I understand why he's made some certain choices here. The biggest one that makes a lot of sense is Ashura Doji, which is a Colosseum character, the blue unit in the bottom left-hand side of the team. It's a really powerful unit because he does a lot of different things. The most important thing for this team though is that he by himself removes 6 turns of Special Bind. He also gives a defense down conditional boost stuff, which is like kind of cool. But the only real problem with this character is the fact that he has a really high cooldown. So stalling for that cooldown is a bit of a problem, but you know, if you do need a team to beat level 100 and above, and you don't have some of these key characters that released in the latest Sugo Fest, then this is a pretty solid team to go for. Ulti's a really interesting character to use because she does resist Despair as a captain, and she gives buffs to Fighter and Powerhouse, so obviously not everyone on the team is going to be boosted, more talking about that Shanks character. Shanks does work pretty well though because we have at least 4 characters of the same type, meaning when we launch Shanks' special, we're going to get an attack boost, a full board of slots, and a chain boost, all dedicated to that one color. So it's actually a really, really solid special for this crew. And Ulti has a really interesting super class condition where it will give a marked conditional boost. And I know not everyone is going to know what that is. So marked is a very interesting component that came out with Ulti and Page 1 dual unit way back in the day. So it's an effect that basically checks to see if the opponent's HP is above 10 million, and if it is above 10 million, then they're basically tagged with some type of mark, and then it gives you a conditional boost saying if there is an enemy with a marked status, then you get an additional like 1.75 or 2 times, however much her conditional boost gives. So it's interesting. It's just another free conditional boost, and if the enemy has full immunity, like, it does still mark them too. So it's a way to get a conditional boost without having to worry about debuff immunities or anything such as that. The only real issue with this team, as you can see here, is that we do have to do a lot of stall on stage 2, because we don't really have a lot of ways to get around this stage. One of the key ways that you want to get around this Helmeppo stage is have some type of effect that gives you empty slots. Because if you activate the special to change your slots around, Helmeppo will give you poison slots and paralysis slots. However, if you change your slots into empty, the opponent can't actually give you the paralysis or the poison slots. So the way around it is to have a special that changes your slot into empty, or alternatively, there are some other people that have gone through a different route that have manipulated their slots into matching, locked them, and then move into this next stage. So, you know, they get like a full board of Wino slots or a full board of Rainbow slots, or they put them in slot change impossible. All of those will work, and you basically keep the slots forever. There was one team I saw from Chaozu that was using the Kizuna Legend Perospero to basically give slot change impossible until you hit a good or a great, whatever it is. So you can basically keep your slots forever if you continuously hit perfects. So that was a really good way to kind of abuse the system to get through this without having to worry about whatever your slots may be. You don't have to worry about slot change, because slot change impossible makes it impossible to change your slots, as the name suggests. So now we move on finally to Boa Hancock here. This is where Ashura Doji is pretty clutch. Ashura Doji, of course, removing the special bind. You see the Raizo support removing an additional 1 turn of bind for the crew, which is really strong for us. And I believe it's the Don Krieg that removes the bind on the crew here too. We do use the Jack special, so Jack is going to give us color affinity for 3 turns, which is really solid. We don't have to worry about attack down on the final stage because we have ulti special for that. And then, as you see, Don Krieg removing that bind for our crew. And we also have the defense down inflicted on the enemy from the Ashura Doji, and then just by applying our normal attacks, we can comfortably beat the Boa Hancock. And of course, we reach the final stage. We've got Shanks, then we've got Ulti, we've got Blackbeard. More than enough damage to get the job done versus Coby. And now we get to my own personal team up against Coby level 100 plus. So I don't have Katarina Devon, so there are, you know, some liberties I've taken in order to make the team actually work. So the way that we're doing this is, instead of using Katarina Devon, we have Rebecca. Now, the way that this team works is, whenever we need to use Katarina Devon, we just use Rebecca instead. She removes 7 turns of special bind for the crew. But not only that, she gives color affinity for the whole crew. I believe it is actually for 3 turns. Rebecca is like legit a very, very good replacement for the Katarina Devon. It works really, really well. And of course, I would love to have Devon on the team instead to give additional drops for our crew, but at the end of the day, it gets the job done, which is all we need. And this team does absurd amounts of damage. So this will work at level 150, no problems at all. And then you can see how you're intended to use this. So Vasco's shot, normally, you know, you want to try and fit him on the crew. However, the key way to use him is to actually use him as a support attached to Blackbeard. So by using Blackbeard to get the empty slots, Vasco's shot activates, removing the burn on our side of the field, so we don't even have to worry about the burn on this Helmeppo stage. The attack down is removed via, I believe it is the Jesus Burgess crewmate effect. So he says if you've got like a driven captain, you remove 1 turn of attack down, which is really, really good. And then against Boa Hancock, this is where she inflicts a bunch of those nasty, nasty debuffs of the bind, and then the special bind, and the despair. Really, really nasty stuff. But what we can do is activate the super class of Blackbeard as well, which will give the effect of inflicting the enemy with Rainbow Shield. It also removes the defense up. You do see the Rebecca activating there. And then it means that when we use the Blackbeard super class, whenever we activate the Van Augur or the .Q, that will give like the full beneficial effects of what we want moving into that next stage. So activating those two gives us a lot of beneficial effects, of course. Now you do see that we have the full board of int slots, which is not really ideal. Normally if you have Katarina Devon, it manipulates .Q slot to be a strength slot, and then .Q changes everyone into strength. But of course we have to take some liberties. It's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. But anyways, we reach the last stage and then we just win. Basically, we've got a bunch of buffs activated still. The Jesus Burgess and the Blackbeard special will give us a lot of additional damage there. That is going to wrap it up for me though. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
お前の力、大軍には渡さねえ。